things slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kiara and I am back with another video, and as y'all can already tell by the title of this video, it's gonna be a movie review because I am a movie buff at this point. I done moved to a town way closer to a movie theater, so every chance I get, every new movie that come out, I'm at the movie theater because I could wait until it come out on Netflix or whatever streaming site it is and just stream it, but I'm the type of person who wanna see it when it first come out so it won't get spoiled, especially a movie that I've been dying to see, right? So this one really wasn't nothing I was just dying to see, but it's a movie that even if you don't really like it, you still watch it because you're too deep into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for example, if they came out with a new Final Destination, guess who's gonna be in that movie theater? Me. Because only one I really liked it for real was the second one. The second was the third one with the roller coaster and everything. The third one was my favorite. But them other four or five, was it five? It was five. It was five. It was cool, but you know, them other four, I mean, because it was five of them in all, but the other four, they was cool, but three was my favorite because I had it on DVD and I watched it on replay. But that's just an example. Like, this universe, this movie universe has different spin-offs. So you have, okay, so the movie I'm talking about is Insidious, the Red Door, by the way. So go ahead and get it out the way so I can go ahead and do my little side rant. So Insidious is like in a universe with The Conjuring, The Nuns, Annabelle, what else? I forgot the other movies that's in that universe, but like that type of universe, the paranormal, all that stuff, right? So I was like, hey mom, the movie came out yesterday, let's go watch it. Oh, and by the time y'all see it, it's gonna already be out for 2 weeks. So anyway, so what I was saying was, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, because nowadays, people know we don't watch regular TV no more, so they advertise their movies on YouTube channels. And one of the YouTube channels had an ad in it, and it just had July 17th. Today is July 18th, by the way. Not July 18th, July 8th. Well, no, today is July 9th. I'm tripping. Today, July 9th. I went to go watch it yesterday, July 8th. It came out on July 7th, Friday. Now that we caught up, before I get started, spoiler if you ain't watched it yet, it's a spoiler warning, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, all that, because I know y'all want to support your girl. And without further ado, let's get into this movie review. Alright, so y'all already know it's Blumhouse. So it was a lot. It was Jump City galore. I didn't do no research because that's not my thing. That's not my spiel. That's not my MO. This is not a movie review channel, so I'm not going to go deep into the details about who did what and blah. No, not doing that. So we're going to start. It started either the first Conjuring or the second, where the dad and the boy just came back from the further. And the wife and the dad's mom hired a hypnotist or whatever, this guy, to basically wipe the boy and the dad's memory so they will not remember this years, because this boy was going through this for a full year and the dad was going through it too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the dad didn't know he had these powers until the boy started having these problems, right? So the hypnotist or whatever wiped the boy and the dad's memory from that from the past year that they had just experienced. So he do all that. 9 years go by. The dad and the mom divorce, and they have split custody of the kids, and the grandma ends up dying. I forgot what she died of. I have not watched the last Insidious movie, so whatever. Did I say Conjuring? Or the name of the movie is Insidious, The Red Door. I hope I said that. I probably said The Conjuring, but it's Insidious, The Red Door. So, grandma passed, and they at the funeral. The ex-wife actually made the arrangement for the funeral because the dad, he kept saying he was kind of foggy, fuzzy, like he's not all the way there. He's having these flashbacks, these visions that he can't explain, and he really can't, you know. He's really having a hard time remembering stuff. Not, I guess, people too, but people, and like, he has short-term memory. Like, he could have just saw something and forgot he saw it, or he'll see somebody that he's supposed to know that he doesn't, or people that he doesn't know that he's supposed to. I probably said that the same. I probably did the same thing in different ways. Anywho, so the oldest son, the son that has the powers and that was in the coma for a year, he's now going off to college, and he's at this liberal arts college, and the mom basically had to beg the dad to take the son to college just to get them to bond and all that stuff. And he has two other children, a girl and a boy, and the girl is the baby. So the dad has a very great relationship with his younger children, but the older child, I forgot his name. I should have looked it up, but I didn't. They have a very rocky relationship where he don't really talk much. He feels like the dad is not there for him. It's just a whole lot. So dad ends up breaking down and taking his son to college. He drops him off, tries to have a conversation with him. They end up having this whole blowout about how the son has just been a little shit to the dad, how he's just never grateful for anything he does. And the son was like, just because you here don't mean nothing. Basically, like, you're still a crappy dad. Basically was what he was telling his boy. And I'm like, oh, baby. So, dad leaves. He's very frustrated with himself because his son in the room, he said, Dad, you might want to get looked at by a professional. Like, your fogginess has been going on for years. You need to have that looked at, basically. He was like, no, that's fine. I've been dealing with it for a while. I'll just continue dealing with it. And then that's before the fight that he left. So he ends up going to a doctor to get an MRI done, or a CAT scan one. I can't remember which is which. And he ends up basically going to sleep during the scan, and he ends up going into the further, which I now know what that was, when like everything would go black, nobody would be around him, and just be quiet, right? He goes in, nobody's there. Like, he's still in the machine, by the way, and everything's getting creepy. He hearing his name, all that stuff. Then he looks down, and a demon from the further is crawling up on him. And then that's when he wakes up, and the doctor was like, "You've been asleep for 15 minutes. Your scan is done. It went perfect." And so the dad was kind of disappointed. He was like, "Dang, I really wish you would have found something so it could explain what's going on with me." Which I can understand, like, Doc, tell me something, sir. Like, come on now. And that's really what happened. Fast forward, jump to the son. He's in college with a roommate that he did not expect to have. He thought by the roommate's name is Chris, and the son thought with the name Chris that it was gonna automatically be a guy, but no, it was a girl. And he was like, would it be okay if we go down to housing or whatever they called it and switch roommates? And she was like, that's fine, I'll go. Cause I see y'all very uncomfortable. So she ended up getting moved, but she had to stay there for the night, and then they was gonna move her in the morning. So she sleep. Girl, let me tell you something about Chris. I do not like saying this about my people, but she was annoying. I'm not even gonna hold you. She was annoying. Do you hear me? And the reason why I said she was annoying is because she was nosy in this boy business, getting all this information from him. Like, girl, why are you this out? Like, why are you in this man's business, bro? Like, for real. Fast forward to the son's art class where they was like, get your best art piece, stick it up on the canvas, and stand beside it and let me judge it. So she come up to this black guy and she was like, it looks like a picture, and he says thank you, and she was like, that's not a compliment. She told him to rip it up. He was like, hell no, I ain't ripping this up, I love this piece. And she was like, oh well, you can get up out my classroom if you don't want to do what I say, basically. He's like, I ain't going nowhere. And she was like, you're going. So he leaves, and it kind of made the son kind of like self-conscious about his painting, because he painted a portrait of his grandma, and he ends up ripping it up. And the teacher was like, that's very why would you rip up something like that? He was like, and she was like, do it one more time just because. And so ripped it up. Then they started fresh. She was like, go down into the deepest, darkest part of yourself and paint. So this boy, he draws a door from his memory, and something grabs his hand and it causes him to bleed on the painting. And then when he gets home, he rubs the blood in more and basically paints the door red. And he don't know that he's seen that door before in the further. So he's painting, and he ends up hanging it up. And then he goes into this, he has his outer body experience. He goes up to the new room where Chris is at. I'm like, you wanted her to move, so why would you go be weird and stop? That's what kind of threw me off about him. Why would you go up to a girl room that she moved to? Like, that's weird. He thought it was a dream, but it was real life. And she came down and she was like, I don't know what you up to, but sir. And so he told her about what he can do, and she was like, I don't know about that. And then she started doing her little research, and she found out it was something called astral projection. Basically, like I said, an outer body experience where you can jump out of your body and just move around in this other dimension. And in this dimension called the further, it's a very bad place where demons, spirits who crave that life, they know when somebody who's not of their kind comes into the further, and they want you. Basically, they want what you have. They want your life. And this boy keep going up in this further. I'm like, bro, you keep going up in here, you gonna mess around and find something. Cause he ends up slipping into the further at a frat house, and he meets the spirit of this college kid who ends up passing away. I'm guessing from alcohol poisoning or something like that. Cause they mentioned it during the party, during like a little speech or whatever. He sees the kid who passed away at the frat party, and Chris finds him, and they get out. Then they go back to the frat house because the son wants to have a conversation with the deceased guy. And so they found an empty room. The son slips off into sleep into the further, and Chris is kind of like the watch out. Then something happens to where the demon from the first movie with the red face, the red and black burnt face, goes and finds Chris and starts choking her up and basically taking the life out of her. So the son got to hurry up and jump back in his body to make the ghost go away and that Chris can start breathing again. Chris get mad that she went along with the son. Like, if you would have never agreed to be a part of this, you wouldn't have been in this predicament. So why are you mad at him again? So I thought she was weird from that. Like, you put yourself in this man's business. That's how I know she wasn't legit one of us. Cause ain't no way I'm finna get into a man's business like that. You seeing ghosts and stuff? Get up out my room right now. I'm finna go to sleep. I'm finna wake up and I'm finna leave. You ain't finna know nothing about me. I'm not finna know nothing about you. And that's just what it is. So, she ends up getting mad, not speaking to him or whatever. Then he starts adding on to the painting of the red door, because every time he has like these episodes, he sees more and more and more. And he ends up remembering that as a child, he remembers his dad chasing him and his little brother around the house with a hammer. And that was back in Insidious 2. It was 2. When dad got possessed with the demon. It was 2 or 3, I can't remember. His dad got possessed by one of the demons from the father and basically trying to kill his children and his wife. So the son has a flashback to when that happened, basically. And he sees his dad about to kill himself, basically. And he tackles his dad, and now they're both in the further. And the son gets trapped in the further while the demon woman, y'all gonna see her in a minute. I'm gonna put her somewhere on the screen. I'm probably gonna show a picture of her. Y'all gonna know who that is. She basically takes over the son's body now while he's in the further. And Chris is just sitting there. Chris ends up finding him on the floor doing all this stuff. And she brings Christmas lights to keep the place illuminated. And she realizes after she done hooked up all these lights that this boy ain't this boy no more. And he's something else. His eyes have started glowing in the dark, blood dripping from his mouth, all that. And she's trying to talk to him, talking about, this not you, this not you. Who are you to tell this man who he is and who he ain't? You've only known him for less than a week, ma'am. Maybe a week and a half. Like, for real. Be for real about yourself. But I can remember it's a movie. It's a horror movie at that. So I can't really take too much too serious. So, basically, the dad realizes that his son is in trouble. And so he goes into the further to find his son. And before the demon that possessed the son's body got a chance to get at Chris, the dad comes in, finds his son, trying to free him. The demon realizes somebody else is in the further trying to get him free. So the demon checks out of the son's body, and the son collapses on the floor of his dorm room. And Chris grabs him up and tries to hold him, make sure he's good, whatever. So the dad gets the son. I should really know these people's names, but I don't. The dad gets the son and basically trying to get him back through that door. And in between all this going on, the son basically is mad at dad, like, you was running around chasing me and my brother around the house with a hammer. You was trying to kill us. He was like, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. These things can possess your body and make you do things. But you have to understand that was not me. And so the son finally realizes that was happening. So they run to the door, to the red door that the son seen in his dreams, and they try to close it. That little ugly burnt face red monster is beating up on the door, doing all this, doing all that. And the dad was like, we need something to barricade the door. The son was like, no, no, no. And the son was like, we gotta go, Dad, we gotta go. And the dad was like, no, you go, just go. So the son takes the lantern and he takes off. He gets back in his body and all that. Now the son was like, I know what I'm supposed to do, because I'm thinking Dad about to die. Dad about to be stuck in his father and he about to be gone. I was grabbing my chest. I'm like, oh my God, he about to die. But that wasn't it. The son ends up painting over the door black, basically covering it up, making sure the demon doesn't get out. So the door is covered up in black. The dad finds his dad in the father. Oh yeah, side story. The dad was having daddy issues because his dad was never in his life. His mom had him think that his dad just never wanted to be in his life. But in reality, the dad's dad died before he was even born, in a mental asylum for schizophrenia, which we think now that he was having those astral projection situations. So he found that out. Now because he was like, I'm mad at a man I never met, which was so deep. Like, how can you be mad at somebody you never even met? So finds out that his dad actually died in a mental asylum, so that's why he was never in his life. He was dead. So, and his mom, I guess, lied to him. That's neither here nor there. He finds his dad in the father, and the dad gives him a lantern so he can see his way out. He gets back in his body. He calls his son, makes sure everybody's still alive, blah, blah, blah. Then they leave early in the morning. The dad leaves early in the morning from his ex-wife's house, because all this is going on over his ex-wife's house while his son was at his dorm. He leaves the house in the morning and he starts talking to this lady, and it ends up being his mom. And what hurt my heart is he don't even realize that was his mom he was talking to, because he was like, I know you. I know you. And she was like, I'm a friend of your mom's. And he don't even, his memory is getting worse. His memory is getting worse. I hate it. And then he gets in his car and he goes home. And then that was the end of the movie. And then I Googled before I left the movie theater, does Insidious 5 have a post-credit scene? And it did. So I was like, let me just stay back to see what the post-credit scene was. And all it was my camera cut off, y'all, my bad. So post-credit scene, over the door, the light flickered. So I guess it was like a hint that there's going to be an Insidious 6. Of course it is. As long as they keep bringing that money in, it's going to be as many as they want to have. You see what I'm saying? So y'all going to see this. Y'all going to see like a year or two from now, y'all going to see me do an Insidious 6 movie review. And yeah, just be prepared for that. All in all, I give that movie a 7 out of 10, because the only thing that really makes it scary is the jump scares, because the gore, seen it, been there, done that, whatever. What else? Like the gore, the lore, the history don't scare me. Let me tell you something, I have become so desensitized to scary stuff. It's terrible. You literally have to base it off of a true story in order for me to get scared of it. You see what I'm saying? Because Insidious, I don't think was based off a true story. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But yeah, like, you gotta actually have this based on a true story for it to scare me. Because this other stuff, whatever. And yeah, that's it. If y'all want to see it, y'all can go see it still after I done butchered this summary, because I don't know nobody name except for Chris. That's the only person I knew was Chris, and this dude named Nick from the frat house, but he don't matter, he's irrelevant. Yeah, this is the end of my movie review. I hope y'all liked it. It's a little longer than I usually do, even though I was talking 85 miles an hour. But yeah, y'all, this is the end of the movie review. I hope y'all liked it. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, all that, because I know y'all want to support your girl. And without, like I always say, I will see y'all in the next
trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town.